Hey everybody, how's it going? Stan Sher with another car sales history story of mine. So I talked about, in the last video of the series, I talked about how I moved back to New Jersey, went to work for a really prestigious auto group and got fired for running an email blast. Again, we were using a crappy CRM at the time. It was Autobase. I don't think they exist anymore. But what did I do afterwards? I ended up moving around a little bit. I was trying to find my way for a couple months until I finally landed a job at an Acura dealership. And this was an Acura, a small Acura dealership, sold 90 to 100 units a month. The internet manager had moved away from New Jersey, and so they hired myself and one other person to build up a small internet department. So the department was doing about 10 cars a month, and we took it to about 30-35 a month. 2-person internet team. We used Higher Gear as our CRM. Shout out to Higher Gear. We had cars.com, and I believe we got Auto by Tel, if I'm not mistaken. And our website was a really local company that doesn't exist anymore, but they did a lot of website business back in the 2006, 2008, 2009 era. And great little store. I got hired there to be internet sales manager, and with like a co-partner. And then she ended up quitting after 2 months because she didn't get along with the owner. He tried to snake her for half the commission. He actually did that to me once, and that kind of put me in a bad frame of mind, but it is what it is. Overall, like I said, it wasn't a bad store, but you know, there's a lot of greed in the store. It is what it is. So I ended up, I worked there for a year. I put some time in, and what happened was I ended up starting to earn more money than I've ever made in my life. What I mean by that is I was selling 15, 20 a month, splitting the other 10 to 15 with the sales floor, and I was making a very good living. I was making $3 to $4 grand a week. It was a nice feeling. Was on track to do $140,000, and got to the point where my general sales manager decided to try to get in my pockets. He was making about the same. He was making probably $140,000, $150,000 a year. Again, small store, and so he tried to extort me for money. I got moments where, you know, not only am I the top salesperson in the store, but I had moments where I had 2 customers at a time, and I just needed him to help me write up a buyer's order. Back then, we were writing up buyer's orders. We weren't printing them, and he decided that it's okay to sit me down and say, oh, well, if I'm going to be helping you, then you need to be, you're making all this money, you need to be cutting me back $50 every time. And I'm like, I'm not stupid. Like, he could have caught somebody that was stupid and tried that and maybe would have gotten away with it, but I'm not stupid. Like, I know you're getting paid off of my performance. I'm one of your top guys. You should be thankful. So his ego got in the way, and he tried to sit me down, and he tried to pull that on me. And then as soon as I was going to make a bigger issue of it, I don't remember if I did. I was going to, but I was afraid to. So I didn't. You know, I was still young and naive, right? I'm 23 years old. And so I made a, you know, I basically just said, no, it's not going to happen. Because he kind of like threatened me, like, oh, if you go to the owner with this, you know, you're not going to be protected. And I'm like, okay, well, at this point, like, I'm making $3-4 grand a week. Like, okay, like, whatever, I'm not scared. But I kept my mouth shut. Then they ended up hiring me a second person, Joe Lanzetta. I will never forget this. Super nice guy, ex-golf pro. He came in to work with me, and we decided to work as a team and split everything down the middle. With his help there, him coming in, working on when I'm off, and me working when he's off, and working together, like whatever, everything we sold we split down the middle. And him and I, we were making a pretty penny. We were still making our $3-4 grand a week. It was a gravy train until finally the same general sales manager started crying and complaining about things because we're getting paid. Our base was 400. Everybody else was like 150. So we're getting paid 400. Other than that, the pay plan was the same. But he basically got to the point where, you know, my general sales manager decided to cry and complain to the owner. So the owner decides to cut our pay plans, our percentages, and hire us a third person. So lo and behold, we went from making $3-4 grand a week, or a bad week was about $2,500, to for consistently for a month I'm bringing home $900 a week. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done. So it was Memorial Day. I'm sorry, what was it? 4th of July. 4th of July weekend. I'm actually, 2007, I'm going to a Rush concert with my buddy Lee Talkman, who was working with me. And I decide I'm not coming back to work. I'm done. I already had 2 job offers. So I texted my resignation in to Jeff. And lo and behold, he was very angry with me. He cursed me out on text messages. Like he, you know, just went nuts on me. And I said, yeah, I'm not coming back. I decided I'm done. And I never came back, except for maybe to visit later on. But he was upset. His gravy train was done. Like, his top guy was gone, and he was upset. And but I you know, the problem is, you know, it was a great store, but there was bad culture. I mean, as far as doing things by the book, process driven, great general sales manager, but there's that ego, and there's just that character. And the owner too, he had, you know, not a bad guy, great guy to party with, not the best guy to work for. And so I quit, and a month later I end up at Joyce Honda as their internet director. But that's the story for the next video. Anyway, if you like my stories, my experiences, hit me up, reach out to me, like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right.